AskReddit by Bapbook Beep. What has lost its prestige in recent years? The term breaking news. It has no meaning anymore since they overuse it. My favorite is still when CNN ran the breaking news that Titanic sunk 102 years ago tonight. https://i.insider.com/534e6d0669bed f17824be5e ? Width 750 amp semicolon formage amp semicolon auto web p close bracket dart. Encyclopedias. Used to be that having the full set of Encyclopedia Britannica was a bit of a status symbol in the middle class. Kids who had it were envied by their peers because it made projects etc so much easier. Dead as the trees used to make it. Pre-internet was a wild time. We were dirt poor growing up, but my dad always managed to have a set of encyclopedias for us growing up. I used to just love flipping the pages and reading. On a lighter note, Etsy. A decade ago I knew I was getting a handmade product when I shopped on Etsy. Now it's just the same cheap knockoffs from China that I could get from Amazon for half the price. Actually, I just bought my husband a handcrafted wooden pipe for Christmas and promptly discovered that it was on Amazon for $20 cheaper. Would have been nice to have kept that extra $20 if I'm getting a cheap product anyway. And it sucks so bad for those of us who actually handmade our stuff on Etsy. We get drowned out by the top sellers who are just reselling things they got on wholesale. Airbnb used to be able to get fair prices on non-hotel style room stays, but now it's overpriced and hits so many fees it's cheaper to go to hotels. We haven't used Airbnb in years. Hotels are always cheaper where we go and higher quality with more guarantees. Airbnb has become a joke. Also Uber, same reason. Commercial air flight. I'm listening to a radio show about airline etiquette and wondering just when this whole experience became an exercise in misery and suffering. The internet. It's all bots and ads. The glory days of the net were awesome. True wild west. Now your entire digital life is tracked and history bought and sold in an attempt to get you to buy stuff. Every designer brand. People may argue that they were never worth it, but at least back then, they cared about quality, materials, and craftsmanship. Now it's all about mass marketing and ever increasing prices for lower quality. Not to mention people who flex on social media made it even more tacky. I have lost respect for so many brands, which, at least saved me some $$ over the years. The lower quality nowadays is terrible. I bought classic designer clothes in the 80s and my daughter wore them 30 years later and they looked new. She bought some of her own, and the quality was garbage. No more. Doctors. I'm a doctor. We're mostly employees now, cogs in the wheel. There is also a lot of distrust in the medical system. I'm an RN and I mentioned to a doc I was completely disposable and our company didn't care about us nurses. He said, "Oh, I am too. We're all dispensable. I guess we're all cogs in the machine, after all." Platinum Amex. By extension, airport lounges everyone has access now. Eating out was a huge thing back in the 80s, like it was an event. So was going shopping to the mall stores. And the type of eating out, Red Lobster, Olive Garden, and this vein of chain sit-down restaurants were considered a fancy night out, at least in my working class circles. Amazon. It used to have nice things, branded or well reviewed, that would get shipped quickly. Now it's generic things with good reviews and the shipping is sometimes random. Remember when search results yielded actual brands? Now it's all FQO all caps nonsense that peddles garbage. I cancelled Prime and haven't missed it one bit. Blizzard. Blizzard used to be a paragon for gamers. I'm not saying they were perfect, but you could consistently count on anything they produced to be of pretty high quality. It felt like everything they put out came from a team that genuinely cared about what they were doing, and had some of the most soul of any titan in the industry. Now everything they put out feels hollow. Between the blatant bait and switch of things like Overwatch to killing PvE, and the rampant monetization of all of their games, to the recent controversies coming out of the actual offices of Blizzard. The spirit of the original studios are gone, and it feels like a hollow shell of its former self. I remember playing Lich King in Stranglethorn, I think it was. I had YouTube on a second monitor and it auto-played to a video announcing Activision and Blizzard announced a partnership. I said to myself, it was good knowing you, Blizzard, jokingly. I wish it didn't turn out to be true. The presidency. I am not trying to have a political debate. Maybe I was just young and naive, but I remember the presidency being more respected than it is today. Like, even if you didn't respect the president, you still respected the presidency. That shit is long gone. Same. I was around for Reagan, both Bushes, Clinton. They all seemed so powerful. Then I became an adult and they're all a joke. Consumer goods in general, it's all shrinkflation garbage now. No more buying a Renault mid-tier product to avoid planned obsolescence or dirt quality. They're all junk aside from certain brands' higher end models, which took a dive in quality and price hikes to every item in the grocery feels lighter. Every box or plastic housing an item smells like it'll give you cancer. Everything is fused shut and proprietary. Every company is squeezing us dry while they make record profits, and here in the States, we all have great free health insurance for the blowback in 10-20 years as it all chips away at our literal biochemistry, right? I just went to the grocery store and a box of cereal that was family size, the same size as regular 10 years ago, was $6. Cereal isn't even nutritious. Facebook. That lost its appeal about 10 years ago when people's parents started signing up. Dead as fuck to young folks now. Netflix. Their originals at first were trying to emulate HBO, and now their originals are all bottom of the barrel garbage that only get 2 seasons. HBO should be right there beside them on the list. Kmart. 20 years ago they were a strong competitor to Walmart. Now they only have 3 stores left in the entire US. This is funny to me. Kmart is extremely popular in Australia. It never used to be, but in the last 15 years, it has shot into popularity. Luxury apartments. 4 floors of wooden construction over 1 concrete base with razor-thin walls and bare minimum appliances. Get some grey laminate flooring and wide cabinets. Call it some random American name like the Abigail. Boom, luxury. Honestly, everything has been extorted, automated, corners cut, respect lost, patience gone. Everything is a cheap knockoff. Genuine brands are too expensive to afford and are moving to cheap Chinese production by the day. Misinformation is spread faster than information these days. Warranties are getting worse or going away altogether. Insurance is almost more aggravation than it's worth. Healthcare in general has lost all the faith the people had in it. The police are almost going the same way. Politicians are losing the crumbs of faith the people had left. North Face. They used to make really good cold weather jackets and clothes. Their quality has definitely fell off since they sold off to VF. Now it's more of an outdoorsy, quasi-fast fashion brand. All the urban hiker North Face fashionistas started walking around in Arc'teryx last I paid any attention. Reddit and the internet in general. With the rise of AI pictures, it's going to be a wasteland of AI generated rubbish in a few years. And then we'll all go outside. It'll be like that episode of The Simpsons when Itchy and Scratchy become safe and boring, so all the kids go out to play. A 6-figure salary. With recent inflation, $150K is the new $100K. Weird to think $100 today will be $400 in a few decades, if not the next. A university degree. It used to be a sterling credential that was a very stable path to a good career in life. Now it's often a standard expected qualification for even an inspiring entry-level jobs without much of a future, which is all the more troubling when you consider the debt people often have to incur to get a BA degree. Mainstream media outlets. IDK anyone under 40 who watches major news networks. The boomers are keeping them afloat for now, but it's only a matter of time. Seems like movie sequels lost a bit of their oomph, you know? Not all, but some, like, why do we need 20 installments when the first one was ace? When it happened again, the world called on him once more, and no one saw it coming 3 more times. Now, the one man who made a difference 5 times before, is about to make a difference again. Only this time, it's different. This sub has become hot garbage. No kidding. To find one good question you have to dig through a sea of reposts and sex-related questions. Call of Duty. MW2, both the campaign and the multiplayer was one of the best experience I had in gaming. It was itch that only Titanfall 2 or Battlefield helped scratch. New Modern Warfare is a retread of a game I've played 1,000 times. Innovative, fun, and engaging then. Now it's not like it's a different game, but that's the problem. At a certain point it's either not MW or it's just MW again. I'd sooner pay for a RAL remaster of MW2 than any of the new ones. Marvel. The Infinity Saga was great. Since then it's just been the dumbest, most boring shit ever, and the ratings tell the same story. Remember when Marvel movies were actually about their protagonists and stories at hand? Now every Marvel movie is a commercial for another Marvel movie that never pays off. Worse, they're degrading all of their characters by making them incompetent shells of their former selves. It's simultaneously cynical and shallow. Face tattoos. It used to mean you've killed a person, now it means you work the afternoon shift at the local coffee shop. Tattoos in general, I'd venture to say, used to mean you were countercultural or an outsider, now even elementary school teachers and bank managers have visible ones. A bachelor degree. The new high school diploma. TED Talks. The Oscars. Like I don't think they have had any particular weight ever. But I remember when I used to talk to people about that they were generally beloved. Now most people don't give a shit and think they bogus. Many award ceremonies can also be in this category. So many of them were useless, but the Oscars take the cake. The Kennedys and political dynasties in general. I mean, yeah, we hear about a few of them, especially crazy ones, but they were huge in politics and pop culture for the latter half of the 20th century. Now, nobody cares. JFK's grandson ran for Senate and lost the Democratic primary without much fanfare or attention. Gucci, LV, etc. are now all worn by the trashiest losers on earth who are also broke and spend all their money on it. This is new? People have been using these gaudy visible brands forever to posture, and I remember thinking this almost 30 years ago. Little blue check marks. Ticketmaster. If it ever had any, it's long gone. Computer bots run wild buying all the seats for the second markets. My body, damn, I miss the young years. Airline lounges, they used to be a comfortable place to rest for passengers who pay a bit more. Now they are a crowded fight to the death with hundreds of people over some canned soup. Journalists. I saw a clickbait talking about how Adam Walsh's murder was finally solved. Checked the comments to see if someone could save me the click, but it was just a bunch of people who clearly didn't read it and just saying amen. Open the article and it literally states that the crime wasn't solved, but that the main guy they thought did it was excluded. Loot Crate. I know they fell off a long time ago, but remember when every content creator was ham-fisting loot crates down our throats? Now it's VPN and rake in earbuds. Sitcoms. The new ones are awful. Having a large flat screen TV. Even having something like an ultra mega 4K compared to standard 1080 is nowhere close to the difference between a plasma and a CTR. Choosing Karen as the first name for your child. HBO. The Max rebrand was a huge cell phone. Flushing so much brand equity. Being famous. There's too many famous people these days. Journalism. In the 70s, Woodward and Bernstein brought down a corrupt president. Now reporters are on corporate payrolls to tell us the company line. There is liberal news and conservative news, and it is hard to find objective information in the information age. Beach resort cities. Towns like Acapulco and Amp, Boracay due to heavy tourism, which brings a lot of trash or crime. Luxury cars. In the low-income housing areas around Vancouver, everyone has one because of 7-year loans and no down payment. Enjoy no retirement, I guess. Who gets to retire in low-income neighborhoods anyways? Prestige Worldwide is just not the company it once was. The quality of both the boats and hose seems to have diminished. NASCAR. It's hard to imagine now, but there was a time when NASCAR was the second most popular sport in America. Drivers were often from small, unknown southern towns. They were seen as absolute badasses because they climbed out of poverty and obscurity to put their lives on the line to race in these dangerous heavy speed machines. The cars could hit 200 plus mph, threatening to literally fly into the spectator stands if they lost control. Dale Earnhardt's death was a punch in the balls for the sport. It was so tragic, shocking and painful that it pretty much brought a permanent end to NASCAR's and safe, thrilling, golden years.